Spoiling all the Final Destination movies since the new one's been announced. Part 3, here we go. Final Destination 3 opens up with a bunch of high school students at this amusement park celebrating their graduation. So we have Wendy and her boyfriend Jason, his friend Carrie, and her boyfriend Kevin. So the four of them get on a roller coaster along with a bunch of other students, and the roller coaster tracks malfunction and everybody on board dies. However, Wendy snaps out of it and realizes that it was a premonition. All these movies literally have the same formula. So she starts screaming and crying that the thing's gonna crash. Of course, nobody believes her. But she ends up convincing a few people to get off, including Kevin, the dark, angsty goth couple Ian and Erin, these two besties, Ashley and Ashlyn, this jock Lewis, this super annoying creep Frankie. But Jason and Carrie stay on as Wendy screams at them to get off. And of course, it goes exactly like her premonition. The roller coaster crashes and everybody on board dies. So some time passes and they're going to everybody's funerals, and Wendy is telling Kevin about the Flight 180 disaster and how people were saved through a premonition, but then they started dying one by one. Because Wendy's fucking smart, and she's like, I think we are in a similar situation here. And of course she's right. Ashley and Ashlyn decide to go tanning. Personally, this is the death in the whole franchise that traumatized me the most. The tanning beds that they are in malfunction, and both of them are burned alive. And Wendy realizes that she had an omen of this in these photographs that she took that night at the amusement park. So in this photo she took of Ashley and Ashlyn, she realized that there was like this light on it that looked like they were kind of on fire. So she tells Kevin about this, and they set out to try and warn the remaining survivors. So they look and they see something sketchy about Frankie's photo. Wendy and Kevin pull into a drive-thru where they end up right behind Frankie. Behind them, there's a whole commotion because this semi-truck started like going down this hill without a driver. And it's coming directly for them, but Wendy and Kevin are able to get out of their car before it hits them. But the collision causes an engine to fly out directly into Frankie's head, and he dies. So then they look at Lewis's picture and they go to warn him about how he can potentially die and like what to look out for. But he's just like a really cocky jock and doesn't listen to anything they're saying, and then his head is crushed in between two weights as he's using this weight machine right in front of them. So then they go to try and save Ian and Erin, who are both working in this hardware store. A forklift runs into some supplies, which then drops a bunch of shit that is going to kill Ian, but Wendy manages to push him out of the way, therefore intervening. But then death skips to Erin, who is shot by a nail gun and dies. So when Wendy is looking at the last photographs, she realizes that her sister Julie also was supposed to be on the roller coaster and survived. So Wendy and Kevin rush to this local fair to try and save her and warn her. The fireworks spook a horse, which starts to run and somehow catches Julie and starts to drag her. Kevin manages to save Julie, but then her friend that was also supposed to be on the roller coaster is impaled by a flagpole and dies. And then Wendy saves Kevin and pushes him out of the way from an exploding propane can. So then Ian shows up and confronts them because he's absolutely devastated by Erin's death, of course, but somehow blames them. I don't fucking know. But that doesn't last long because fireworks cause a cherry picker to fall and it falls directly on top of him and he dies. And that's it. It's over. The three survivors are left to tell the tale. Psych! 5 months later, Wendy is getting on a subway with a few of her other friends. She starts to feel like she's having these weird omens again. And then as Wendy's trying to get off the train, she gets blocked because she sees Kevin and Julie also coming on the train completely separately. So they reunite completely by coincidence, which obviously is a bad thing in this situation. And then the train crashes and kills everyone on board. Just fucking kidding, because this movie we get a second premonition. The movie ends as Julie, Kevin, and Wendy are trying to stop the train from killing everybody on board, which really just is gonna repeat the whole cycle anyway.